Actually, we're gonna turn the jar off. Yeah. There we go. I always do links so people can see stuff. And then commands, so you guys can see what commands you can have fun with. Here, let's do dog fact. Yeah, Labrador makes sense. Okie dokie. I'm just gonna try to finish up these holiday Dead by Daylight charms. So far I have the snowman. I drew Dwight in his elf outfit. And right now I'm working on like it's the pumpkins you could smash this last time, and then of course I have the spooky flashlight and the med kit. It's gonna be like a combo one because I kind of felt like the pumpkin wasn't the best. And then I also have Kate in her scarecrow outfit. Jake howling at the moon. And then my final secret one was, of course, I'm gonna draw Plague, but she's gonna have holiday lights on her because I already had so many Halloween ones. It's not an outfit in the game. I don't know if I want to introduce secrets to my mystery charms. I might. But I tend to just do about, when I order my charms, I do about 16 quantity of each design. So you have a chance of, when I first drop them, you have a chance of getting all of them. And obviously, I do try to mix them up a little bit in my bin so you're not getting the same ones. But, of course, it can happen. But yeah, so that's... We are working on Pumpkin right now. Or, I'm gonna try to turn him off for a minute just so I can see these two real quick. I'm trying to finish this up because I just learned that the de minimis exemption is going to expire at the end of this month. And I did want to release these before the holidays, so this will be my last, probably another order. I'm gonna... Poor Volker is gonna be like, you're ordering more shit! It's like, yeah. But I like Dead by Daylight, even though I haven't streamed it in a while, sorry. Sorry everybody, I haven't streamed it in forever. Like, I love you all. Sorry, I haven't streamed. I feel bad. Let me just... Okay. Sorry, I just had to put something real quick in. But yeah, I really kind of want to finish these first before I work on any other projects, because again, this is something I wanted to do last year. Everyone who's bought from me in the last couple of cons, I've mentioned that I do want to, you know, add more to my Dead by Daylight keychains. And I already released Series 2 this last year, so I kind of want to release this special holiday edition one. 'Cause it's fun. And I did add Jake and Kate. They're both new characters, and Plague, so I have not drawn any of those ones yet. Or these items either. I haven't drawn any of these items before, so they're all different. The only one it was a repeat is obviously Dwight, because I already do Dwight in the locker for season 1 right there. You can see him right there. I just thought it was funny to draw him in the locker, because I wanted to draw the locker, and I was like, yeah, I better draw Dwight in the locker, and that's the joke. He's always in a locker. But yeah, yesterday, I was going to stream yesterday, but then I decided it was my day off. I do have to work today, but I don't have to go in until later this afternoon, so I can stream for like an hour or so. It's only like noon here, and I have to be at work until like 3, so I'm okay. I'll watch the clock, don't worry, I'm not stupid. Also, I live 5 minutes away from my work, so it's not... I mean, obviously I'm not going to push till like 3 o'clock and then go, oh shit, and try to run out the door. And I tend to get bored drawing after a while, but... But yeah, yesterday I decided to go to Tombstone. because I saw on the news they were talking about one of the actors from the movie Tombstone, Val Kilmer. He passed away recently, and I guess Tombstone was doing some kind of they were honoring him. I'm not a big fan of the movie. I don't think I even watched it, to be honest. I know the story of Tombstone because, again, I live in Arizona. When I was a kid, my dad was obsessed with, like, Tombstone. So, like, every summer, we would go to Tombstone. I need to... No, not that one. It's this one. I just need to see this, sorry. Hold on, I'll redraw it. But yeah, every summer, we would go, like, once a week to Tombstone. So, I've experienced the OK Corral. I've been to the Birdcage. I've eaten at Big Nose Kate's Saloon. I've eaten at a couple other restaurants there. I haven't done the mine tour yet there, but I haven't stayed I stayed a partial night in one of the hotels there on the main, like, Tombstone Street. I didn't stay at one of the other fancier hotels. It was, like, the one right across from the Birdcage Theater. It's still there. They've just remodeled a few times. That's a fun story if you want to hear a spooky story. I guess story time with Kels. Like, yay. I was about, I want to say maybe, like 9 or 10. I know I wasn't kid, but I wasn't an adult. I want to say preteen, so I was like, it was before I turned 13. I think I was in that age bracket. And again, my dad loved going to Tombstone, and every summer we would go down there, and my dad was like, he looked into it and he's like, hey, why don't we stay the night, you know, at one of the hotels there. My mom approved, and my dad was like, cool. He booked the hotel online, or I think he called them. This is when I was younger, so I'm dating myself. This was probably 20 plus years ago. So yeah, take it as you will. We had the internet, but it wasn't as prominent, and smartphones definitely were not a thing as prominent back then. So my dad, called, and I don't know why this lunchbox is making me so mad. Stupid lunchbox. It's a lunchbox. We're gonna call it a lunchbox. So yeah, he booked one of the bigger rooms, because this hotel thing, I call it a hotel thing. It was like, think of it like an Airbnb before Airbnb. So it's above the store. So like the bottom floor was their general store, which had like a little ice cream bar and little snack area and a gift shop. And then it had a back room that you could rent out. But the top floor above it was the hotel part, the rooms. It was a rickety staircase. You go up, you open a screen door, and it was a little tiny kitchen nook with like a very small kitchenette, a little table. And then there was, I think, like 2 small bedrooms, a small bathroom. And at the end of the hall was the grand, like, master bedroom. That's the room that we had. And it had attached to it its own, like, private bath. And our master bedroom and one of the all bedrooms were facing towards the street. So you could open your patio and stand above on floor 2, look over the Tombstone. For the most part, we got there in the early day, but then we checked out Tombstone. We were kind of tired. We were both getting hungry, and it's like, I kid you not, it's a small town, so everything like shut down at like 4 o'clock, and we were both starving. So we got back in the car, drove all the way back over to Benson, which is about like a 30-minute drive from Tombstone, to get Wendy's, to get something to eat. I went to Safeway, we got like some snacks and drinks, and then we headed back to Tombstone to our room. And at this point, it's slowly getting sundown, because again, Arizona summer, we don't get sundown to almost like 8 o'clock at night. So we got back, did I shower? I don't think I took a shower. I don't remember all the details. But when the sun went down, the vibe just shifted. It went from just being in like your grandma or aunt's cozy, like mid-town home, to suddenly, it was creepy. Sorry, I just moved my mouse for a second. It was just creepy. Like, I can't explain it, but like I said, the vibe just shifted. And my dad felt it too. We both felt it. It was just really weird. And the bathroom was really scary to me. And yes, it is a haunted town, so my little child brain was just, but like I said, it was just a weird thing. Like, in the daytime, it was fine. But suddenly at night, it was just a completely different beast. And my dad even felt the same way too, though his was more, I guess you could say, practical fear, and I was more irrational fear, because again, kid me loved ghost stories and ghost shows, so I was heavily influenced by them. I was terrified of my grandma's house, for one, even though I don't think to this day, I don't think it was haunted, but nothing happened. Like, nothing. I didn't see a specter or a shadow. I didn't see any spooky ghosts or anything. I didn't hear any weird noises. But, like, I asked my dad, can he, like, come me to the bathroom? And he's like, you're a grown kid. You can go to the bathroom by yourself. I said, I didn't like being in that bathroom. Like, it was just spooky and weird in there. And so my dad, he was more scared of the fact that people could see we were the only ones, by the way, in this hotel. Like, the other 2 bedrooms were not rented out that night, so nobody else was there. It was just us in the master bedroom. The people downstairs locked up and said they'd be back in the morning, so we had nobody there. I mean, we can't really call anyone or do anything. We were just basically stuck there, and people could see our car. My dad was freaked out at that part, thinking that somebody would see our car and know we were in there, see the lights on, and potentially try to rob us, I guess. That was his thought process. So he went down to his car and got I kid you not, he was really into swords. He got out a katana. He's not Japanese. He held onto the sword as he stood above the patio overlooking the city, and I was on the bed trying to watch TV, and I'm just mortified staring down the hallway, thinking I'm seeing shadows move, and I'm just waiting for something spooky to happen, because I told you, the atmosphere changed. It just got spooky, and it was weird. Like, it didn't feel right. And my dad asked me, and when he accidentally dropped his sword on the patio, I guess some kids were just walking down the street. They heard the noise and they bolted, thinking it was a ghost. So hey, to those 2 kids in Tombstone that probably thought they heard a ghost at the hotel there, no, it was just my dad dropping his sword, because but my dad said even they were on edge, and I remember he sat in the bed next to me and he asked me, are you gonna sleep tonight? And I said no. And he's like, do you just want to go? I said, yeah, I'd feel safer at home. So we pretty much just grabbed all our shit, and it was just this weird feeling of trying to get out of there as fast as we could. I can't explain it also. Like I said, it was just a weird feeling, like in a horror movie, that dread before the horror strikes. And I'm like, I don't want to be here when the monster goes ooga booga booga. And so I didn't want to be the last one out. My dad did. We just ran down that stairs. We ran to the car. And that feeling, like, it followed us all the way to St. David, almost. I told Dad, I said, he kept driving. I kept looking back, and I could have sworn I saw a pair of lights behind us. And when we got St. David, the lights vanished. Obviously, it was probably another car, but it just felt weird. I told him, and I said, the moment we got out of Tombstone and got St. David, I felt that feeling just whoosh. It was gone. So it was just weird. That feeling just left me as soon as we got out of the vicinity of Tombstone. And we drove home. I think we got home like around 9 o'clock at night. We called my mom, and she's just like, she laughed. Like, you guys paid for one night and you stayed, checks watch, like 3 hours. You didn't even, I said, Mom, we wouldn't have slept. We would have had one eye open all night, Like, this was not gonna be a good night's sleep for either of us. She was just still laughing. She thought it was silly that we would waste that kind of money. And we just basically, as she quote, you scared yourselves. And I'm like, we probably did. But I still, to this day, have never felt that sense of dread. Outside of, like, when you ride, like, a roller coaster or when you do a drop ride at the carnival. It's hard to explain. It was like being in the middle of a horror movie, and I'm like, I don't want to be in a horror movie. And I can guarantee you, I always laugh later, but I guarantee you the ghosts were probably just like, dude, we didn't even do anything yet. We're just standing here menacingly, and they're... we didn't even open the door or jiggle a handle or nothing. Like, they aura farmed us bad. It was just so... I've never stayed in Tombstone since then. But there is a hotel on the outskirts of town that I've seen before. It looks like it's been remodeled. I kind of want to stay there. Just to... maybe then go, like, to Bisbee afterwards, just to have something. You know. Just to kind of... redeem myself. So yesterday I did go to Tombstone. I didn't stay the night, obviously. Tombstone in the daytime is fine. Like I said, and they do offer a shit ton of night tours now. When I was a kid, they didn't offer any of those kind of night tours. It was like only during Halloween time they would offer those tours. And now when I went there yesterday, like the Birdcage, everyone else had these little pamphlets that says, we offer night ghost tours. And I will say the Birdcage is just really cool to just walk through to see a time capsule of history. It's one of the only buildings that survived, like, one of the fires. It's one of the original buildings of Tombstone. Because there was a fire, I think, in the, like, the 40s or 60s that burned a lot of the town down. And a lot of it is rebuilt and repurposed, but, like, if you want to actually step back in time, besides the OK Corral area and part of Big Nose Kate's, the Birdcage is, like, authentic. But it also is really pricey to walk through. I know, sorry, I'm rambling. I should be drawing. It's like, Kels, you should be drawing. You're wasting your time. It's like, I want to talk. I need to talk. But yes, the Birdcage Theater is one of the original standing pieces there. It's one of the things that my dad and I used to always go to, like, no matter what, like clockwork, we would always go to the Birdcage. But yeah, it was $18 for me to go into it. And my dad, I told him that, and he goes, wasn't it like $8 or $10? I said, I think it used to be cheaper. I think it was like $8 or $10 years ago when I was younger. Would I say don't pay for it? I would say if it's your first time and you probably won't ever go back to, like, Tombstone, then yes, do it. I would say do all the tourist stuff there. Like, do the OK Corral. Don't do the virtual ghost walkthrough attraction. That thing is just stupid. It's just a crappier version of Halloween Horror Nights from Universal, and it's just stupid. And they added that, like, in the 2000s, and it's still there, which is surprising. A lot of, unfortunately, the small shops have come and gone, because, again, it's a heavily tourist town, so a lot of the stores don't make it. I don't know if you guys ever heard of, in the past, there's a company that makes t-shirts from, like, dyes, like volcanic dyes and chili, and they had really cool designs. I remember I saw them first in California, I think in San Fran, and I bought one of the Alcatraz shirts because I thought it was cool that it was dyed with volcanic dye, and it said, like, the Alcatraz Triathlon. It was kind of a silly joke. And they had a store there in Tombstone years ago. They're now gone, unfortunately. A lot of the stores have, like, come and gone. There was, like, 2 or 3, like, soap places. There's a ton of food options. Like, coffee and, like, popcorn and ice cream, which is, eh. It's just funny because, like, my mom had pictures of me as, like, a kid going to Tombstone and, like, eating ice cream on the, like, train tracks, wearing my little tiny pink boots and a big old oversized cowboy hat with a big old ice cream. And it's like, I don't know, I guess kid brain me saw those pictures and thought Tombstone was different than what it actually is. And so I went with my dad years later. I was like, oh, it's nothing like I pictured. Like, it doesn't look anything like what I assumed it would be. Oh, sorry, I got it. Why do I have it? Oh, it's an announcement, sorry. Oh, it's a wait list. I can't do SAC Anime because it's the same weekend. Okay. Sorry, just reading something. Oh, sorry, I'm just checking on something real quick. Of course. I might have to get a new computer monitor soon. It's doing a lot of burn-in again. Ugh, my curse! But anyway. Um, but yeah, when my dad, I don't know what got into my dad where he wanted to do, where he wanted to go to Tombstone so badly. And I didn't, like I said, I didn't mind it. It's it's about, it was like an hour and 15 minutes from my house to get there, so it wasn't too bad. I guess it's the same equivalent of driving to Phoenix and back, but it didn't feel like it. Because you pass by some, well, you have to go off from the main interstate, and then you go off and turn into Benson, St. David, and then eventually hit Tombstone. You can go further and hit Bisbee, which, I was just saying, like, I just wanted to go to Tombstone for the day. It was a smidge cooler there. Like, I laughed. It was 92 degrees there in Tombstone, and back home it was like 110. So everyone's like, oh, was it cooler in Tombstone? I'm like, yeah, it was 92. The only complaint I had this time was, besides just the heat and just nothing really has changed, and well, they've lost a lot of fun, a lot of the store I like to go to and shop at. There were so many flies. Like, every door frame of the major, like, not the food place, but like the regular stores, just had swarms of flies. And I know they have horses there, like the middle of the street is blocked off and you can ride a horse-drawn carriage. And I know definitely livestock attracts attracts flies. But it was a lot of flies. I had to like close my mouth and like run through doors into stores, and some store that I didn't want to even go to at all because of the flies. And no, I didn't do the OK Corral gunfight because I've already seen it before. It's okay. It's all, the only problem is considering it was 92 degrees outside. I had an umbrella and a hat, but it was just hot. The OK Corral area is all outside. Like, the indoor is the gift shop, and then when you pay for the admission to walk through it, and then to watch the gunfight show, it's in a very small area. It's all outside. I still recall when my dad was so obsessed with Tombstone, he asked one of the locals once which movie or documentary is like the most accurate, and the guy said none of them. It was pouring rain that day. Take it with a grain of salt. I don't know if it's real or not. I don't know the history of Tombstone that well to say whether he was lying to my dad just to fuck with him, because people ask that all the time. Like, which one is... There's at least, I think, 2 movies. They actually had them for sale there. And even a third, like, Wyatt Earp movie they were selling there at the OK Corral gift shop. But I was like, nah, my dad probably owns most of these. And I'm like, I don't need to buy them. I'm good. Like, my dad does not need to own more stuff. Sorry, I'm just checking on something. I swear I've been streaming for about 20 minutes. Okay. Boop-doo. But yeah, it's just... Tombstone is fascinating. Definitely a fascinating place. I would say at least check it out once if you are in the southwest Arizona area. And then just go further down to Bisbee. Though Bisbee has definitely changed too over the years. Bisbee used to be more of a... almost a ghost town. I remember as a kid, I've only been to Bisbee, like, I think 2 or 3 times in my entire life, because it is further past Tombstone. And it is a drive through the mountains. It's built into the mountain because it is a mining town. That's how that started. I did stay at one of the hotels there with my mom. I think the Copper Queen. And no, kid me was into ghost stuff. There was no ghost. Nothing happened that was spooky. We didn't get one of the haunted rooms either. It was still a very old place. But we went a couple years ago, maybe almost 10 years ago now, with some of my mom's friends who wanted to go up there, and they drove, so we went to Tombstone, they went to Bisbee. Definitely I would say don't do both in a day. It's freaking draining, man. But it's become much more of a artist town, which, like, oh, hey, Kelsey, you draw. Would you like it? I mean more artisan town, like fancy, like people that sell like metal sculpture, people that sell the like crystals and everything. And I mean, they sell them for a lot. I have on one of my, I think it's a little metal dragon that I got from one of those guys that made the giant metal sculptures. He made some small little dragons. Even that tiny little metal dragon that has a magnet on it was still like $20. And I know you gotta pay what it's worth, but like he had some cool sculptures like giant T-Rexes, and I'm like, oh, those are cool, and he wanted like $20,000 for them. I'm like, not that cool. Yeah, you could say it's like, again, the guy was just, he's getting what he's want, but like he also had like nobody in his shop. A lot of the shops there don't have anybody shopping in them because, again, it's like they really cater to the really pricey crowds of people that can afford that stuff, which I guess more power to them. I just couldn't afford it, even though it looked really cool. But yeah, I felt every shop we went into was just these very fancy artisans. And I'm like, I just kind of want, like, I'm not saying I want, like, tourist shops like in Tombstone where I want people to be selling the crappy, cowboy stuff. Trust me, there was a lot in Tombstone. I didn't walk into half of the shops. A lot of them were selling, like, clothing, Indian jewelry. It's just not my shtick. I walk into more of the tourist, like, gift shops that have... I bought some stickers. I bought some t-shirts. I wasn't hungry, so I didn't really eat. And like I said, the flies were kind of... I was thinking maybe I'll get an ice cream, but then I thought about it, and I'm like, these flies are gonna, like, just swarm whatever ice cream I get. And I don't want to be eating ice cream... fly ice cream. I'm not a frog VTuber or nothing, so I don't need the flies. Don't need the protein. Yeah, I get there's gonna be flies because there's livestock and everything, but it's just... There was a lot. And it was, like I said, it was mostly in the door frames of each of the places, so it was just kind of weird. It was like, why are they... I guess it could maybe it was the AC. Like, the difference between the heat and the cold air, so this... But some of those stores had, like, no AC. Again, it's... Some are old, some were freezing, and some were just plain hot. But, sorry. Itchy. A little itchy on my shoulder. Hold on. Okay. But yeah, it was just... Tombstone is still fun to go to. Sorry, I'm just checking my screen. There's a little bit of burn-in issues, so I pull up Discord and I can see my stream, like the window is, I can see it. It's annoying. My last computer screen also had the same problem. I've heard before, I think also can be a memory issue. I don't want to replace the memory on the computer again, so I guess it's more just, it annoys me. The burn-in isn't that noticeable. It's not... I'm just moving the screen around a little bit. It's just more annoying than anything else. It's not to the point where I can see, like, the last burn-in, I had a drawing of... I drew my ex's character very naughty, and I had it open on Photoshop for less than, like, 2 minutes. I closed Photoshop, and I could see the burn-in image of his sexy you-know-what. I was drawing it, mind you, in the background of my computer screen, and I'm like, it's not going away! It was like, that was my final straw where I unplugged the damn monitor, and I had another monitor, that's the one I'm using right now, where I plugged it in, and I was like, cool, we're done. I tested this one, I opened up Photoshop, did the same thing, it didn't do it, and I was like, cool. But now it's starting to do it. I'm like, ugh. Just sucks. I know there's things you can do, like turn on screensaver and other stuff, and I've done that. Or turn it, like, to less time. I don't know how to turn the... My old monitor had, like, little buttons under it that I could, you know, push to lower the brightness and everything. This one, I don't think, has it, so I don't know. I've turned up the frame rate. I've turned it down. Like, I don't know. I don't know anymore. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to buy another monitor again and see if it doesn't keep doing this problem. I mean, I guess I've been using this monitor for almost 2 years, and it was in a box for 2 years. So, it's because I bought this one with my other ex before my last ex. I bought it from the company Newegg. It was my gaming monitor that I left in the box that when I got robbed, thank God the robber didn't take the box. There's even a handle on the box. I was laughing going, it says gaming monitor and there's a fucking handle on the box. The guy could have just plucked it up. I told the cops that. That's funny. Like, this guy is stupid. Like, this guy is dumb. Like, you're telling me, like, you don't care? I mean, obviously, the dude did care. He stole my other stuff, but still. Let's see this. Okay. Yeah, that was my time in Tombstone yesterday. It was, again, I don't know, I heard the news talk about Val Kilmer, and even though I don't care about the actor or, you know, Tombstone movie, I was just like, you know what? I don't know, I just wanted to go to Tombstone. I'm an adult. I can drive wherever I please. It's funny, I never had burn-in before with my laptops. I remember I noticed it with my last monitor, because it was just, like, I would be on Discord with my friends, we'd be in a voice chat, and then I would close Discord and I would see the lines from, like, our boxes when we talked, and I was like, that's weird. And like I said, that I noticed it when I was watching, like, YouTube, or going on Pinterest, I would see... If I open a white screen, like open up Microsoft Word, and I print up my stuff from my table for conventions, like I do box shapes, I would see the lines from the box, I see the outline of the boxes. I thought, what is this? And I'm like, wait, is that just burn-in? It's like, yeah. Like, well, that's weird. Like, why am I getting burn-in? Right now, it's just very faint. If I kind of squint, I can see it. I don't know why Discord is the best example to see it with. I don't know. I'm just cursed, I guess. This computer has had a lot of problems. When I first got it, it gave me the blue screen of death. It kept turning off. And eventually they said it was the memory. We replaced the memory, and it's been working ever since, but then now I've had this burn-in issue with the last monitor, and now this one. But again, I've had this monitor for 2 years. Google has told me that computer monitors really don't last more than about 4 years, and it was sitting in a box for at least 2 years. So, Do I want to spend another $100+ No. I did spend quite a lot on my first... It's like when I first got this set up, I really wanted to be a big streamer. So I had bought 2 monitors. And I don't know why I hated the 2 monitor setup. I know. Like, for right now, I'm drawing on my drawing tablet, so it's a different screen. But it's just, I use my phone if I'm gaming and streaming, just so I can see the chat. I am thinking about maybe keeping this monitor as the monitor for, like, chat, but then I don't have enough room because I've kind of filled my desktop with, like, all my anime figurines. I originally got this desktop to have the space to put 2... you know, monitors, but the problem is this monitor that I'm using right now, I can't twist it or turn it upright. It can only go horizontal, not vertical. So, yeah, I can't really use this monitor for chat. I mean, it's a 27-inch one, so it's pretty big. I can move it over, but I have to, like, move all my figures somewhere else. I don't know where they're gonna go. I know. I was originally gonna turn my iPad into another screen to make it for chat. It's funny, I don't get the burn-in, though, with, like, with gaming. Like, if I'm playing Baldur's Gate or Dead by Daylight, it doesn't cause the burn-in. I definitely know it's from static images, like right now with my OBS open, with Streamlabs open. This drawing window is very bright white, and I can see, like, right here, this line here, I can see where the box is, because around it is all dark. You could say, like, well, is that line show up anywhere else? I mean, I see it on Discord. Discord has a gray background, so I can see it. It's just annoying more than anything else. And I know eventually it will get worse, because, like I said, my last monitor did that. That's how it started, was just faint lines. And then it was, like, full-blown. I could see, like, the image itself. Like, it before just be the box. I could see the outline of the box, you know. But then it became, I can see the image reflecting. And like I said, the final straw was, I opened up that drawing for, like, I literally timed myself, I think it was less than 2 minutes, just do a quick edit, close Photoshop, and the image was still there, the full image of seeing my ex's drawn you-know-what in the corner of my screen, of the main screen. Like, I was mortified. I could see my line art and the colors and everything. I'm like, dude, no, I don't want to. I said that was my final straw to finally unplug this monitor, or unplug that monitor, and pull this out and say, okay, I know it's easy to plug in a monitor. It's just a cable that plugs into the monitor, plugged into the power outlet, and plugged into the back of my tower. I'm scared of technology, okay? Like, I don't like change. And I guess my ex before my last ex, he was really good with technology. That's kind of how I got this computer. Was not through him, but he recommended the website. I never heard of Newegg before him. So that's kind of how I, got it. But, and it's funny because, like, when I had the problems with my computer, when I called Newegg up or sent them emails, they were like, are you not a PC builder? I said, no, I don't build PCs. And they're like, oh. And I kid you not, the way the guy wrote to me and talked to me was, he literally said, if you're not good at building PCs, you shouldn't buy from us. Because we assume when we give you a fix, you're able to just pop parts out and pop them back in. I said, well, at that point, I had my boyfriend and I have a couple friends who work on computers. So I was like, I have people who can help me. And if it all is just popping in a stick of RAM, I guess I can look it up. But also, I was like, I've been cursed. Before I got this desktop, I had several laptops. And I can tell you that I went through quite a bit of them. I went through 5 hard drives in 5 years. Yes, you heard that right. I learned not to buy from Best Buy anymore. It's funny because, like, my first laptop, like, out of high school into college, I bought from Staples. And that thing lasted me, like, I want to say 7 years. And when that thing finally crapped out on me, I bought a laptop from Best Buy. Within the first 24 hours, it blue screened and died. Thank God I hadn't put much on it at that point, because it only had been less than a day. I had it. I took it back, and they're like, oh yeah, the hard drive is bad on it. I was like, oh, okay. Put a new one in. And I think the next hard drive lasted, I think, a week and a half. So at that point, I had put shit on it. I even had some new drawings on there. All were lost because I didn't back them up. Yes, I know. You're going to say, have you backed them up in a while? Not really. I know. I need to get I do have a external hard drive I can back shit up on, because when one of those, it was, I think, the 3rd time when the hard drive died, I really needed it. Like, I was crying because, like, everything I'd done, all my artwork was on the laptop. And Best Buy told me they could send my laptop off to Kentucky, which, again, I live in Arizona, and it would be away for probably a week or two, and that they could maybe recover it. And then again, like I said, at that point, I was still dating my ex, who was really good with computers, had a lot of computer friends. He asked his friends, and they recommended a website called Drive Savers. So I told Best Buy no, took the computer home, contacted them, and yes, they told me that yes, they could. Well, they can, for the most part, save most computers. They did say that obviously there are circumstances where computers can't be saved. It may either A, cost a lot of money, or B, it could be impossible. I said, just, so I popped out the hard drive. I think it was Best Buy popped it out for me. I mailed it off to them with UPS. I think it was within like a week or so I got an email back saying, yes, they could recover, but it was going to cost more than what they had estimated. It cost me $700 to recover that. I think the original quotes were around $400 and $500, maybe a little less. So I thought, yeah, it was going to be pricey, but yeah, I think after taxes and everything, I paid almost $1,000 to recover my hard drive. I think I begged my folks for the money because I didn't have it at the time, and they were like, "Do you really need these files back?" I said, "Yes. It's all my art files. It's a lot of shit." So they, bit the bullet for me and help me pay for it. And sure enough, Drive Savers then, they sent me the old hard drive and, of course, the new one. We installed the new hard drive, and yep, it had a little file that said basically like my name on it. It was like a clone of my hard drive. So it was like basically like what you do like with your desktop, and you would have like a little folder, and it said literally like, Kelsa's hard drive. And yep, they recovered pretty much everything. I think there was a few files they couldn't recover, but that was more like Paint Tool Sci files, and I was like, it's fine. They got most of them. I was happy. I was crying. Like, I said never again. I was just worried because I googled like Best Buy and recovery, and the funny thing is the Drive Saver guy told me that Best Buy would have probably sent it to them. So it still would have gone to them regardless. It just would have taken a longer time. Because, yeah, I didn't trust the idea of sending my computer and hard drive to freaking Kentucky, of all places. Like, why was it going to Kentucky? Like, why? Why did it have to go to Kentucky? And I knew with Best Buy, because they aren't... I'm not saying that Geek Squad sucks, but they do. They're fine for basic computer repair stuff, but for like a hard drive issue, don't go to them. Just don't. And don't buy their program stuff, or what was it called? I can't remember. It was the Geek Squad protection program thing. Just don't buy into it. Why did my cup come out? Sorry. There we go. Yeah, just don't buy into it. A lot of the old farts definitely buy into them. Because they don't know any better. But it is... It's not worth it. They tried to sell it to me when they fixed my computer a few times. And it was mostly... the funny thing is, they claim that if you have the protection plan or whatever it is, it makes the services like a smidge cheaper, but in the long run, they charge you more than when you're just paying for the service outright. And yes, it's nice to say they'll clean your computer and back it up, but like, how often, unless you are like surfing the dark frickin' web and doing some naughty shit, like checking out a lot of porn sites, you don't really need that kind of protection and cleaning. Though I still recall there still is in my town, there's a computer store that I went to for another problem with one of my other laptops, which is the other reason why I went through so many hard drives. And I went there ages and ages ago to ask about drawing tablets. This is like back in the early 2000s. And the guy looked at me so weird. He was like, a drawing tablet? I'm like, yes. Like, it would be a computer screen, but you draw on it. I said, I've heard of them, but I can't obviously, I don't see many. All I've had is the tablets I have where you plug them in. Do you have any? The guy had no clue. But I visited them a couple years ago with my other laptop because I had let one of my computer friends, clean it out for me because I realized I never popped it open and cleaned up all the cat hair. And he said, yeah, there was I have cats. I was like, yeah, there was a lot of cat hair in there. He cleaned it up. When he cleaned it up, I gave it back to me. I couldn't log into the internet. Like, I had everything. I was like, well, that's weird. My laptop now wouldn't connect at all to our internet. I'm like, well, that's... And I told him that. I said, hey, did you, like, bump anything when you were in my computer? And he's like, I don't think I did. And he's like, okay, he's like, I'm sorry if I did. I said, no, it's fine. I mean, I asked you to clean my computer, and I paid you for that, so that's fine. So I went to this computer place, and I told him the problem. I said, hey, my friend recently cleaned my computer. And I'll say this, being a woman in technology, some guys don't see us. I've had this experience several times at many places. And look, like I said, I am not a tech wizard, but I feel like the stereotype of women don't know what they're talking about definitely applies to, like, cars and, of course, technology. So sure enough, when I told these guys, hey, my friend recently cleaned my computer, and for whatever reason, it won't connect to the internet. It just shows, I don't know what's wrong. I don't know if he bumped something, but I can't connect to the internet. That was the problem. Everything else was working fine, it just, no internet. They took the laptop. They later called me and said the hard drive was failing. I said, what? They go, yeah, it's dying. Do you want us to back it up? I said, well, yes, but the problem was the Wi-Fi. They're like, oh, it connects to the shop's Wi-Fi just fine. So I came back the next day, heartbroken, that another hard drive crashed again on me. But they said they're able to save it somehow. Got me a new one and installed it. I had to pay a couple $100. I took it home. I turned it on and it wouldn't connect. Again. I kid you not, in that moment, I wanted to throw that computer across the fucking room. I was so pissed. Like, the problem that I came for, they found another problem somehow, which it wasn't showing signs of failing. Like, I've seen the failure, what happens with hard drives. It's like, it runs slowly, programs chug along, you get, like, screen flash, you get, like, problems. Like, it's like, it shows symptoms. This computer showed none of them. So I was like, okay, I guess maybe they caught it early, which is nice. But then I was just pissed because, like, the problem I came for, they never fixed it. So I called them again. I was crying. My mom had talked for me. And I said, look, the problem I came for, you didn't fix it. And they're like, okay, bring it back. I brought it back. I turned it on. And sure enough, it would not connect. And the guy was like, but it connected last time. I said, that was the problem I said. When I'm at home, it won't connect. I don't know what. They eventually take it back right there. And I literally see 4 guys working on it. They come back and they said, oh, yeah, somebody bumped the internet, like, I don't know, the button inside the computer. Which I had told them my friend had recently cleaned it. And I said he may have bumped something inside there. They bumped it back into place. And magically, boom, internet access. It was some kind of, like, it was like the router, I don't know what it is on the computer, and a laptop. It's like the little button that lets you, it's like the Wi-Fi adapter thing inside. You can actually, it's like unplugging a plug. You unplug your phone, it stops charging kind of thing. This thing couldn't connect. But I just remember how pissed I was that I said, so was the hard drive thing irrelevant? And he goes, no, it was showing signs of failure, and so was the battery. And I'm like, okay, I guess that wasn't the problem that I came for, but okay. But right there shows you, like, they didn't listen to me at all because I'm a woman. You might say, oh, it was because you're a woman. I don't know. Recently I had the same problem with my car and the leaking problem. So, like, for the last couple weeks when it's rained, I've noticed the rainwater is inside my car. And no, it's not coming from the ceiling. It's not an open window. It pools on the bottom of the door. Like, when I open the door, my door frame and, like, the curtain, sorry. I saw some movement. My cats are being stupid. And the rug underneath my driver's side and the passenger side is soaked because the rainwater went through the door and it came inside and didn't go outside. So I was kind of like, well, that's definitely not normal. The first time I didn't take pictures, I just brought it in and they ran it through the car wash like 4 or 5 times. They said that they couldn't find any leaks. So I went home that day, and then the next day it rained, and sure enough, water in my car again. This time I took pictures and video, brought it back the next day and said, well, here's the video and pictures to show I'm not lying. They still scratched their heads. They took my car for over 2 days because they were busy, and eventually said they couldn't figure out what the problem was, but they decided to reseal the doors. So, like, they opened up the panel in the door and they put, like, acrylic caulking or something in the door and resealed it. I said, okay, fine, whatever. But the problem was, I only made them do it on the passenger door because the driver door, the first time it rained, there were just a few droplets. I thought maybe it was just my imagination. It definitely leaked more on the passenger door. And the second time it rained, it was bone dry on the driver's door. So I just assumed that it was just a passenger door problem. So, again, another week goes by. We get another rainstorm because, hey, desert and monsoons. And sure enough, I came out of work and passenger side was bone dry. Driver's side was soaked. I opened the door. I could hear the shush, the slush. And I looked down. I could see the water all in the crack of my door. And I felt it. And it went down to my carpets. And I was like, motherfucker. So once again, I made an appointment. Went down to Honda. Explained yet again the same problem. But I remembered, I'm not good with names. I remembered the wrong mechanic. So he wasn't the one that worked on it last time. It was a new guy. And he's like, well, I'm new and I have to go through all the shit again. So he told me he ran through the car wash again. This time they only held my car for 2.5 hours, 3 hours, not 2 days. And he didn't seal it like I asked. I said, hey, whatever they did last time with the sealing, they sealed the passenger door, that seemed to have worked. Can you just do that again on the driver door? And he denied it. He was like, no. And I kid you not, he told me, even though it's their Honda car and they're a Honda dealership, they don't do doors. I was like, what? If it was an engine problem, we can fix it. But a door problem, we can't fix. And he hyper-fixated on my Carfax report that said that I had damage in 2019. And I kind of blinked out for a minute. I went, oh, yeah. I had noticed that somebody had, like, either not rear-ended me, but definitely bumped into my car because I saw a huge dent in my driver door. Called my insurance. They're like, well, was there an accident? I'm like, well, no, I didn't hit a car, but obviously some car hit me or something, or a shopping cart. Something hit me. It was low enough where I think it was someone's bumper. And I kind of recalled parking underneath a structure at the mall where I work, and I'm pretty sure probably some people are bad drivers, trust me. So I guarantee you probably somebody hit my car during my long shift at work and didn't leave a note or nothing because they're like, it's fine. I noticed a few days later, I was like, the light hit my car just right, and I was like, oh shit, someone hit my car. The insurance company and the collision center, it cost over $800 to repair it. I only paid $300 because it was, insurance covered up to $600 or whatever it is the first. So I only paid like $300 for it. Had a rental car for like 2 or 3 days. They had to replace both the driver door and the the back driver door. So, like, the whole left side of my car. So, I was kind of surprised the guy he pulled up the Carfax, and he kept pulling this up, and I said, well, what about that? He's like, well, that damage could have caused other damage. I said, but they replaced the doors. It's fine. Also, that was in 2019. We're in 2025. Like, I would assume there would have been leakage before then. He's like, and I'm like, also, the major leakage, the major problem was the passenger side, which was not replaced. The driver's side was. He's like, well, the damage could, like, transfer it over there. And I'm like, I don't think they did not hit me going 120. They hit me probably going 10 or 15. Because, again, the dent wasn't noticeable until I saw the sunlight glinting off it one morning. I went, oh, shit. Somebody hit me. I knew they didn't hit me right then because I was in an empty parking lot. So I knew it happened before. So it kind of sucks that I had to call my insurance and be like, hey, I need help. Which again, sucks. But again, being a woman, and I was like, look, can you just like replace, like, can you just do the thing that you did before? That's all I'm asking. And he said no, because they are not door people, according to him, even though it's literally their vehicle. He told me I should go back to the collision center and ask them to look at it. I'm just like, this is fucking insane. So I now have a fucking towel on my driver's side just in case it rains again. Because this guy, and then he told me also that when they took the door off, they found damage inside the door, water damage, of course, and that my speakers also have water damage on them. And he says his mechanic wanted to replace the speakers for $400. And I'm like, thinking about it, if the problem isn't fixed and you just replace the speaker, they're gonna get damaged again when it rains. Because you're not fixing the leak. And then I thought about it, and I'm like, why don't we just replace the doors? But my mom's just like, oh, let's talk to somebody else, but I don't know. Does it bug me? A little bit. It's annoying that now I've thought about it, and twice in my life I've had two men in male-dominated fields deny me a woman who's just like, look, can you just do what you did last time? And they're like, no, actually we can't, because we don't know what the problem is. I'm like, I don't give a shit what the problem is. The solution was obviously that whatever you did in the other door, just do it. And it's funny because when it first happened, I said a car wash probably won't show the problem because in car washes, the water comes from the top down. And when it rained, we have monsoon rains here. Like, that shit comes in sideways and hard. When you go through a car wash, it's gentle, like a mist. I was almost like, why don't you just get a bucket or a hose and just put it over the door? Like, that would be more accurate. But, again, they ran through the car wash 4 or 5 times and never saw a problem. Because of course they didn't. But yeah, it was just, it was frustrating because, again, I feel like being a woman, it's like, nope, sorry, your opinion don't matter. And you could say, like, oh, Cal, it's just, you know, he was being honest. I just find it weird. Like, I get a car place maybe not being the best place to get, like, maybe new tires because they're not a tire place. But for him to say that if it was a mechanical problem, like the engine, they could fix it, but a door leaking, they can't figure it out. And their only solution is, oh, it's just the, you know, it was the accident that you reported 6 years ago. I just don't know what that guy's thinking was. I'm like, dude. Again, it's funny because, like I said, back to the whole, they didn't believe me when I said, well, rainwater comes in sideways, and they're just like, oh, no, it can't be that. And then, I kid you not, this last time, the first mechanic was next to this guy, because I looked at the wrong name tag, remembered the wrong name. He leaned over and said, oh, yeah, because, you know, the rainwater comes in sideways. And I was just like ready to punch someone so badly. I'm like, you people suck. I hate you so much. Oh, sorry, that was me. It's just frustrating. I know, it's not really fun topics to talk about. I just can't. I just want a car that won't leak. You know, like, when I told my coworkers that, they're like, yeah, the water shouldn't be inside your car. And I'm like, thank you. I know. I know this. But apparently Honda's like, no, we're good. We don't care. So, I don't know. I probably will take it to a collision repair place just because I definitely don't want the damage to get worse inside the door. I will mention that the dealership sent me to them because they can't figure out the problem. And they're probably going to be like, I can guarantee you they'll probably take like one look at it and be like, oh, it's just this problem. Or, wait, they sealed it before, why couldn't they seal it again? I'll be like, I know. They don't want to. Or it's like, I don't know why they didn't suggest, like, replacing the door. Because, like, if the problem is the door itself, and they can't repair the door, can they not just simply order a new door and just put the new door on? You could say, like, well, would that solve the problem? Well, yeah, because the door is leaking. New door won't leak. It's not like the door itself is the only one of its kind, kind of, you know? It's not like the door is going to, like, magically not stop leaking or anything, but I don't know. It's just annoying. I just don't want to have a leaking car anymore, that's all. Or a computer screen that likes to do burn-in. It's fine. I just hate talking about certain stuff. I don't know what else to talk about. Whoops, nope. But yeah, also I'm home alone today because Mom has to work on the campus. Like I said, I do have work later. And then I didn't realize I also have a convention coming up soon. So, there's that. I gotta deal with that. I have been playing on my off time, Baldur's Gate. I'm trying to finish my Baldur's Gate playthrough. So right now I'm working on that final achievement. Someone informed me that I had to turn off mods to get it. So apparently, to get the achievement, you have to have mods turned off. Didn't know that. So, the mods are now turned off. Oh, one little thing I didn't say about yesterday when I went to Tombstone, I almost had a semi hit me off the road. So, going to Tombstone, it's a 2-lane highway. By that I mean it's one lane on either side of the street. It's not a lot of room. It's just, and you can pass. Let's say somebody in your lane's going kind of slow and you want to get around them. you are more than welcome to. It's just there are signs, like little arrow sign that say, like, no passing zone, and even the ground markers are marked for, you know, no passing. It's mostly for safety because some of the road is like hills, sharp turns, so you can't see that far ahead of you. And obviously, to pass, you have to go into the opposite lane of traffic. So you're basically are driving at someone. And right when I passed St. David, the final stretch to Tombstone, it's a little hilly. It's like up and down, up and down. And I hadn't had anybody in front of me for a while, so I'm on cruise control. And then all of a sudden I come up from down from a hill, and I come up a hill, and I'm like, oh, I can see somebody in my lane. Finally, you know, I caught someone. And then I blinked again, I realized that's not the back end of a trailer, that's a trailer facing me, a semi, and it's coming right at me. And I literally hit the brakes. Well, not like slam it, but I did slow down, and I jolted my car to the right to push over to the shoulder as far as I could, as this fucking semi barely hugs half of my lane, half of the other lane, as it was trying to pass another semi and two cars. I think I saw either it or the others. I think the other semi that was in the other lane hit their brakes, because I saw smoke and bits of rubber fly everywhere. I pulled back into my lane and kept driving, but I didn't look back. I don't know what happened. I don't think they hit each other or anything, but Jesus Christ. At that point, my heart rate, like, plummeted or skyrocketed. I felt the adrenaline, like, dump, and I hated it. I was so mad. Kind of mad at myself for not seeing the situation before. Again, my brain was like, I was just listening to music, doing stuff, not focusing on anything other than the road. And then all of a sudden, it's like, I could have died. A head-on collision with a fucking semi, because he just wanted to pass 3 other cars. In a no-passing zone, mind you. I told this to one of the locals there when I bought from him, from the Boot Hill graveyard, and he's like, oh yeah, that's a pretty common occurrence out here. I was like, really? He goes, yeah. I was like, I fucking hate it here. Luckily, on the drive back, I did not experience any such shenanigans, so thank God. I don't think I could have handled another. I'm like, no, I'm good. Could not handle if I did that again. I was like, no, I'm good. But yeah, goes to show you, pay attention when you're driving on those kind of like backwoods kind of places. It's much more common in like those kind of side roads when it's only like just one lane highways. But just keep an eye. I only imagine that like at night when there's just a pair of headlights blinding me, I wouldn't be able to see the side of the road, and yeah, that was not fun. Okay, I need to color this in just so I can't see, so I'm gonna do this real quick just so I can see that. Thank you. The funny part was my mom was she wanted to come with me, but she had to work. And I said, hey, sorry, she's like, you don't want to go with me? I'm like, I wouldn't have mind going with you. That was just my day off. I have to work next few days. And it's funny because, I called her right after that incident with the semi. I parked in Tombstone. I was jittery. I was trying to calm down. And I called her. She had gone to Walmart to get some groceries. And her car died. The battery died. So she's like, well, thank God I didn't come with you, because we would have taken her car. And knowing her, she has to pee a lot. We probably would have stopped to pee at the McDonald's outside of Benson. And her car probably would have died right then and there in the parking lot. So it would have been stuck at Benson. So I said, yeah, knowing you probably would have at least twice. So yeah, we would have stopped at least in Benson and out there. And then, yeah, it's like, so probably for the best. She luckily got a tow, and they jump-started her, and then she went over to of all places, Honda. And the irony was, she said they asked her, do you have an appointment? I'm like, yes. I make an appointment in advance for when I know my car battery's gonna die. Like, sir. She didn't know her car battery was gonna... Let me just forecast the future. Okay, I know I'm gonna have a flat tire on Tuesday, so I'm gonna make an appointment. They did get her in and they got her a new battery pretty fast, so... It is funny because they offered her a strange deal for it. So they said because the battery has 100 months. I don't know why they say it this way. I don't know why they don't simply say the battery has a 2-year or 3-year. 100 months, I think, is what? Like 6-7 years? That's a long fucking time. But she got the battery back in 2022. So I already calculated that she already spent about, what, 30 or 40 months already on her 100-month plan. They offered her 2 options. Option 1, they can give her a new battery and sell it to her at, like, whatever the remainder of the old battery's life. So I think she had, like, 60% left on it. So she could spend, like, $100 or whatever and get a new battery. But its warranty would be the same as the old battery. So, like, it's carrying over. So whatever's already been used, so the 30 or 40 months, you only have the remainder... like 60 months or whatever to under warranty. Or she can get a brand new battery and they'd give her a brand new 100 months, but she have to pay the full price, and I think the full price was like 200 something. So she basically had to decide, did she want to spend $100 or 200? She decided on 200, but then when she talked to me about it, we kind of calculated it out, and I said, you know, you didn't even use it for half its life. You could have just done that first deal and just saved yourself $100. Because, like, if the battery only lasts about 3 years and you have 7 years to use it, you technically could do it, or just simply replace it, like, put a frickin' note in your calendar saying, hey, in 3 years, replace the battery. Yeah, just lie. Just say, yeah, I want to replace it. What are they gonna do? Say no? But yeah, it's just... It was just kind of... She realized, she's like, oh, I should have said... I should have done that first deal, huh? I said, yeah. When I think obviously you weren't thinking in the moment and you thought, oh man, I only get... like a fraction of what, or I can get the full. Oh, I want the full. And it's like, yeah, it sounds good at first, but then when you calculate it out, like I said, I'm like, when did you buy the battery? She's like, January. I'm like, okay, so you've only used about like 30 of the 100 months, and it died. So a new battery would be also 30 of the 100 months, and you could have saved $100, but. She pointed out that it was only like $100 difference, so I'm like, I mean, fair. If it was like a $200 or $300 difference, I definitely would be like, yeah, no, we're doing the first deal. I mean, I am poor. I owe so much money right now to some credit cards, and then I laugh because I chipped my glasses last week at work, or the week before. I literally, like, my finger, like, grabbed the edge of my glasses, and when I grabbed them, my finger took a chunk of glass out of them. It's in the very, very far corner of my glasses, and it's a very small little divot, but I'm OCD. Like I said, like, again, my screen has a slight burn in, and it's bugging me. I keep opening Discord right now, and I can see it. I can see the line. I can see the very faint line of my box for my streaming. I can see it. It annoys me. It is annoying. I hate it here. How dare the screen show me my other screen. It's faint, but I can see it, and it bugs me. But, same thing. The little divot. So, I thought about it, and I'm like, well, my glasses, I didn't pay for the warranty. Yeah, I also think warranty for glasses is a scam, too. I'm gonna say this. Unless you know that you're prone to, like, breaking stuff, or... Yeah, again, if you're prone to breaking stuff, or you have, like, maybe an animal or a kid that break shit, don't ever buy, like, vacuum cleaner warranties or anything of the sort. Yeah, forget we're just gonna recolor that, it's fine. Just don't. They're scams. Plain and simple. So, you know, I didn't spend the extra, it was like $45. You might say, well, then they would have covered your glasses. Well, the problem is I bought these last year, and I think it only covers it for, like, I want to say 6 months. It's like 6 months or 8 months, and obviously, this is the first time, and I look back at my receipt, and I bought my glasses last September, and it's now August, so they've lasted about 11 months, so, before I did anything to them. So, no, it would have been a waste of money for the $45 extra just to say, well, just in case anything happens, you know, we'll replace them for you free of charge. And it's like, yeah, well, they would have argued saying, oh, yeah, if you'd come in last week, we would have replaced them for you, but now you gotta pay. So I said, fine, whatever. And of course, obviously, it's my only pair of glasses, so I couldn't give them the glasses they can't repair them right there. Almost no eyeglass place actually has they always send them away to some factory to make them. So there was just nothing I could do. I'm like, people are like, oh, why don't you just give them your glasses? I'm like, well, I have a pair of sunglasses, but I can't wear those inside. That would be weird. So I just said, fuck it, I'll order a new pair. I wanted to order a new pair anyway, so. Went there, and sure enough, I said, hey, I showed them, so I made a little boo-boo. I want to order just another pair. Like, okay, it's fine. And I was like, you know, I'd like to order the same pair because I like them. I'm, again, OCD about stuff. I rarely find glasses that I like. It's always about, like, how the frame and the glass works together. I don't like how distorted sometimes the glasses can be. So it's just, like, it bugs me. I've learned that now, that I gotta have certain frames. And, of course, she tells me, oh, that frame, we don't have it anymore. So heart shattered. I'm like, great. I gotta look at new pairs now. I'm like, do you have anything that's similar? And we went over to the wall where I found my first pair, and I tried on another one. It's okay. I was like, okay. And then she types the numbers in. I have to hold the glass up. They mark them. So, okay, your total's gonna be $270. Ouch. Hand them my card. I pay. I'm like, how long until I get the new glasses? Oh, 2 weeks. Great. Thanks. Okay. And then, I think it was like a day or two later, I got a phone call. I didn't answer because I get so many spam calls. I don't answer the phone much anymore. I kid you not, it was for the same eyeglass place. I mean, oh, I made my glasses ready. No, they're calling saying I'm overdue for an eye exam. So I'm panicking going, am I? I originally thought I went in like November or October. So I'm like going through all my paperwork trying to find the receipt. Eventually I found the receipt and it said September like 14th. I'm looking at the calendar. It's, you know, at that point it's August 5th. So I'm like, I'm not overdue, you jerks. I'm due. I'm just like, I just ordered a new pair of glasses. So I'm like, if I go in for my eye exam, they're just... what if my prescription gets a little worse? I just paid $200 for a new pair of glasses. Like, I don't want to do this. So, I'm just like, frick it. I'm just going to wait till next month to go in for my eye exam. Yeah, I already paid the new glasses. I can't get a refund, so... it is what it is. To be honest, I did for the last 2 years use the same pair of glasses because I was kind of... I had gotten a new pair of glasses and they hurt. I got headaches from them and it just... everything... I told my doctor because he left... It's funny, I used to go to Lens Crafters and then my eye doctor left them. They've gotten worse. Don't go to Lens Crafters. Find an independent optometrist if you have to go to someone. Don't go to the... I'd say don't go to the mall ones anymore. They used to be trustworthy, but... like, when my opto left Lens Crafters, I followed him to another place, and that's where he is now. And I told him, I said, yeah, last time I saw you, you gave me a stronger script, and I just couldn't wear them. I told him, I said, it gave me headaches. everything was too sharp. Like, everything felt too clear. And of course he's like, well, yeah, that's glasses. I said, no, no, no. I said, I've worn glasses my whole life. It's just, it gave me headaches. It made things appear just too sharp and too crisp. And I said, can you, and it's funny, he actually told me, he's like, well, I can lower your script. I said, wait, what? He's like, I can make it less, he kind of got a little ornery. He's like, I can make it less crisp. I'm like, yes, please. And that's what I'm wearing right now, and honestly, I love them. I'm like, please don't. So that's why I'm like, I really don't want to go back for another eye exam. And yes, I learned later on in life that you're not trying to make them happy. You're trying to make yourself. That's why I always worry about eye exams, because, like, if I say the wrong thing, like, they go number 1, number 2, number 3, or number 4, and you just go, I think 1. They go, you think or you know? And it's like, I don't know. And then your eyes start straining because you've been looking through that stupid peephole thing, and you've been poked and prodded with the puffer test, and it's funny, actually, my last ex before... Oh, I didn't realize I'd put on that layer. That's fine, it's just a sketch layer. I was wondering why I was white right here, and I realized I did the blue layer on the sketch layer. Whoopsies, it's sketch layer, it's fine. But I learned later in life that you're supposed to tell the eye doctor what, like, without straining your eyes, don't squint. Try to, like, I've learned to kind of, like, blink a few times, close your eyes, and then just kind of open them slowly, and just try not to squint or do anything, and see what looks fine, natural. Because, again, like, I had that problem where he gave me too strong of a script, and it hurt my eyes. In the past, I've had it before, too, where and that's what I tell you, like, wear them for a few hours. If you can't even wear them for an hour, then go back to the eye doctor and say, hey, these are just way too strong. Like, and they can lower it for you. Obviously, they can't do it right then and there, but they can give you a lower script. My only complaint is that, like I told my mom, was, I'm gonna do it in the light. I think we're doing the light brown. Yeah, that works. Is the cost. Like I said, it was $270 for a clear glasses. It's funny, my mom told me she didn't like ordering from the same, because she used the same eye doctor too, like I do. She didn't like ordering from his little lab place, and so she went to Costco. I went to Costco too. I ordered my and the ghost one. I like the lunchbox one. I don't like the ghost. But, okay, we're just gonna save it. We'll work on this one real quick. But I did Costco also for my sunglasses, just to see what the price difference was. And I told my mom, I said, it was the exact same price. It was around $200+. She's like, really? I'm like, yeah, I don't have insurance. Like, I, unfortunately, have to survive on the state's insurance plan. And sadly, they don't cover eye and dental past age of 18. Yeah, they don't cover it past age 18, so I have to pay out of pocket for... I definitely still go to the dentist. I definitely go to the eye doctor, because I don't want either one of those to be bad. But it just sucks. I'm like, I don't have a lot of money. That's why I laugh with the eye doctor exam, saying, you're overdue. No, I'm due. I'm just going to go next month. I'm not going this month. I'm like, I spent a lot of money as it is. Luckily, the car stuff with the leaking, they didn't charge me a dime, so thank God. I was worried they're going to be like, okay, your bill's $200 or $300 or $800 just to say we couldn't find shit. I would have been so sad. I'm gonna end streams because I'm kind of getting tired of talking and no one else is. I was hoping one of my friends might join me on a stream, but they are not right now. So thank you for watching. Talk to you all later.